Inside the beautiful and simplistic design of Modus are 3 completely separate and unique strategy games for 2 people. The first game I'll show you is called 4 Circles. The first thing players do is set up a 4x5 playing board with 20 of the 24 tiles. Then players choose if they're going to be light or dark, then pick out 6 pieces. Every piece has a circular marking on one side. The goal of 4 Circles is to be the first player to get 4 of your pieces in a row with the circular marking facing up. Players take turns placing a piece on any unoccupied tile on the board with the circular marking facing down. Once all the pieces have been placed, the game can start. Players move their pieces on the board. For example, this dark piece can move 1 space horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, or a player can jump over a piece horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. But the catch here is that the piece must flip over. So if dark jumps over to here diagonally, it lands on this tile with the circular marking facing up. To make the strategy even more complex, tiles can be moved on the board, changing the shape of the overall game board. Now this tile can't be moved because there's a piece on it, and this tile can't be moved because it's surrounded by other tiles, but this tile, and this tile can be moved. The only requirement is that when it's moved, a piece must land immediately on it. So that would be a valid move. Or dark could have jumped diagonally over to here, landing on the new tile with the circular marking facing up. And again, the game keeps going like this until someone gets 4 of their pieces in a row with the circular markings all facing up. The next game I'll show you is called Hopper Sneaker. All 24 tiles are used to create a 3x8 rectangle. Each player gets 6 pieces. Then players place their pieces on the first 2 rows of their side. Players can choose which of their 3 pieces will be placed with the circular marking facing up, called sneakers, and which of their 3 pieces will have the circular marking facing down, called hoppers. Then the game can start. The objective is to be the first person to move all of your pieces to the opposite side of the board. I'm going to jump ahead to show you what a typical game might look like. Okay, so the sneakers can move 1 space horizontally, vertically, or diagonally onto a free adjacent tile. It cannot jump over pieces. Every time a sneaker moves, it must become a hopper by getting flipped over. Hoppers jump in straight lines over 1 or more adjacent tiles, dark or light, onto a free tile. It can't move just 1 space. It actually has to jump over 1 or more pieces. And again, every time a hopper is moved, it must flip over and become a sneaker. And again, the first player who can get all of their pieces to the opposite sides of the board wins the game. The final game is called Up and Away. All 24 tiles will be used to create a playing board that looks like this. And all 8 pieces will be used. Each player gives their pieces to their opponent. The players take turns placing 1 of their opponent's pieces onto any free tile on the board with that piece's circular marking facing down. Once all the pieces have been placed, the game can begin. The objective is to be the first player to flip your pieces so that the circular markings are facing up, and then remove those pieces from the board. When you move a piece, you can move it horizontally, vertically, or diagonally onto any free adjacent tile, or you can jump over 1 piece. If you jump diagonally, your piece does not flip over. But the first time that you jump horizontally or vertically, your piece flips over so that the circular marking is facing up and it will remain that way for the rest of the game. A piece with the circular marking facing up can move to any free adjacent tile, vertically, horizontally, or diagonally, or it can jump over a piece, or it can jump over several pieces. Now, whether you jump over one or several pieces, as long as the pieces you're jumping over are your color and has the circular markings facing up, those pieces can be removed from the board. And again, the first person who can remove their pieces from the board wins the game. All three of the games in Modus are games of strategy that will exercise your frontal lobe, which is involved in planning and decision making. So, it'll make the decision on what to pull out when you're planning on bringing people over to your house 3 times easier. It'll be 3 times the amount of fun, and 3 people could technically play as long as one person agrees to watch.